Surrender, Raziel. Abandon this petty rebellion. It was I who made you. Your life had played out, and in my grace, I spared you. You are my reaper of souls. You have no other purpose, no higher destiny. Just this. Accept your calling, Raziel. Let go of these vain hopes. Relinquish your will and feed.
No.
What do you profit from this defiance?
There's some grim satisfaction in infuriating you.
My patience is eternal, Raziel. How many eons can you bear to languish here? The wheel of fate must turn. All are redeemed in the cleansing agony of birth, death, and rebirth. This is the engine of life, the purifying rhythm of the universe to which all souls are irresistibly drawn. Yours is a necessary and noble function, Raziel.
Enough of your sermonizing. Are you trying to bore me into submission? Why must this game go on? We both know what you are. You're no better than the vampires you so despise. A voracious parasite, cloaking its appetite in a shroud of righteousness. I refuse to do your will.
I can see into your heart, Raziel. It is not your will, but cowardice that keeps you here.
How so?
You know what fate awaits you when you leave the underworld. That phantom weapon you bear is a constant reminder, isn't it? The sword is waiting for you out there somewhere, and you tarry so as not to meet it.
I could not deny it. As long as I lingered here, defying my captor, I was able to postpone what I feared was my inevitable doom. To become the ravenous spirit imprisoned in the Reaver Blade. But that sentence was no worse than the stalemate I now endured. Better to face one's destiny than cower from it.
Harvester of souls, I created you. And to this function, my angel of death, you will return.
Enough. Yes, I submit.
Very good. Indulge your hunger. Yes, embrace your calling, Raziel. You will find that just as defiance has its price, so obedience has its rewards.
And submission is not always what it seems. Below me swirled an ominous-looking mist. I knew that if I fell, it would mean my peril.
Do you believe your worthiness is so easily proved? Your way is sealed until you have offered further evidence of your obedience.
I must feed you before I depart this place.
You must feed yourself, Raziel.
The wheel must turn.
Ah, now you understand. Go, but remember, you are mine. You can no more escape from me than you can escape yourself.
You want this room cleared of its vermin.
If you wish to leave it,
your will be done.
my good sir. Where do you think you're going, little soul?
Clearly my escape had not been anticipated, or my benevolent master would not have expended such efforts to prevent me from going. And if my departure displeased him, then that was a victory, however small, for me. In the spectral realm, water is as thin as air, putting this opening far beyond my reach. But once I found my way into the physical world, this door would only open when fitted with an appropriate artifact. But to use such an object, I would first have to find a way back into the material. At last, I discovered a conduit into the material realm. I would finally escape the spirit world and take one step farther from my tormentor.
Did you think to receive the same favors after your rebellion as before? No, Raziel. I have no need for you to enter the physical world, so no conduit will be granted. You serve me adequately as a wraith, and a wraith you will remain.
So, my restraints had not been removed, only loosened. I would not be held prisoner in the spectral realm. There had to be another way. And in the spirit world, I had no means to open this door. I had to seek another path. As I emerged, I was granted a vision of what I would become if I did not escape the spectral realm. For these too were agents of my master, hunting the lost souls that struggled to escape the endless twilight of the underworld. My master's plan for me was ominously clear. Like these mindless hunters, I existed only to fuel him with souls, siphoning their energy to feed him and his wheel of fate. I had to break these bonds, while I still possessed my own will. There had to be a way to escape the spirit world without the help my master was pleased to deny me. Only in the material realm would I have a chance to seek my destiny, or change it. In this crypt, I discovered ethereal gases rising from the moldering corpse within. As I neared, I felt a distinct spiritual pull, and the closer I approached, the more that pull intensified. In the end, it was not difficult. I projected myself down into that tomb, and found myself reborn into the material world. It was a loathsome vessel, but with an effort of will, that too could change. These gargoyles quickened as I drew near, triggering the door to close. I would need to find some means of approaching the door without being observed.
It says she won't go near the place.
I tell you, the pillars are haunted.
Haunted?
I heard a woman's voice talking and moaning, and there was no one there.
How many vampires have you killed? And you can't face down one ghost?
I knew who these were. Vampire hunters, scouring the countryside, destroying what had once been my kind.
My God, what is that? A vampire or a demon?
Where?
Here.
Get him!
Quickly! No mercy.
These were Mobius's hunters, mercenaries enlisted in his crusade to exterminate the vampires. His insignia was unmistakable. But this meant I'd been captive in the underworld for centuries. I had lost 500 years. Then I knew what ghost it was that haunted the pillars. Ariel, the specter of the murdered Balance Guardian. Perhaps she could provide the answers I sought. But first I would have to find a way out of this cemetery. The temple's facade hinted at some ancient vampire origin, for it bore the sign of the Reaver and was marked with the elemental symbol of light. The mystery of the Reaver might be answered within, but this edifice was too high for me to...
Raziel, fallen hero.
Renegade and traitor. What is this? How do you know me?
Raziel, what are you? Why should they know your name? You are nothing.
It seemed my method of entering the physical realm was not altogether original. But where had these beings come from? This edifice, marked with the elemental light symbol, was clearly much older than the ruins in the rest of the cemetery. The door was far too high to reach, and to open it, it seemed the Reaver would need to be imbued with the power of darkness. Clearly, I had more to accomplish before I could discover what lay within. An ancient gate, sealed by the powers of light and darkness, barred the way to the pillars beyond. To depart this place and continue my journey, I would have to find the means to... As I stepped through, I felt a sense of displacement, as some arcane sorcery transported me away. This was clearly some ancient ruin of a vampire civilization. Perhaps here I would finally decipher the riddle of my destiny. Throughout these ruins, I found murals depicting the seminal events of vampire history. These scenes commemorated a great war between the ancient vampires and their rivals. In triumph, they banished their adversaries from the world and raised the pillars as the lock that binds them. The image of the Reaver was inscribed throughout this place, always depicted with reverence. The vampire's holy weapon was destined to be borne by their prophesied hero, for whom it was forged. But if this was my destiny, why had the Reaver tried to consume me? This scene depicted the appointment of the original vampire guardians, each summoned to serve when the pillars were raised. Each guardian is aligned to the principle of the pillar he serves, and the Balance Guardian is the axis of them all. At last it was done. The Reaver was forged with darkness. As I felt this new power coursing within the Wraithblade, I knew that now the Light Temple would open to me. At last I had the means to confound those gargoyles in the mausoleum and discover what lay behind that mysterious door. Against all odds, I had stumbled into Cain's own mausoleum. This seemed an unlikely coincidence. Again, I experienced that odd sense of displacement as I was transported to the vampire ruin once more. But this chamber was different than the first. In their defeat, the vampire's enemy retaliated with a terrible curse, afflicting the vampires with a bloodthirst that turned their once noble race into ravenous predators. This curse plunged the vampires into despair and apparently drove many to madness and self-annihilation. What was it that so devastated them that they were driven to suicide? I had succeeded. The Reaver was forged with the power of light, and now my way was clear. I would seek out Ariel at the pillars and see if she could enlighten me. I had the means now to depart the cemetery. I only needed to find the gate that would send me on my way. At last, the gate yielded to the powers of light and darkness with which the Reaver had been forged. The way to the pillars was open. The vampire hunters, brazen as they were, feared to walk these paths. I knew one spirit haunted this place. Perhaps there were others as well. These smoldering sconces seemed as though they would ignite, if only I had a fire sword. I sought to unravel the mystery of my fate, and in this image lay my first clue. For this scene depicted the forging of the Reaver, the weapon destined to become my prison, and I recognized its maker. The years had changed him, but this was unmistakably the vampire Vorador, and in this era, he still lived. If I could reach him before Mobius's mob hunted him down, he would provide the answers I sought. These images chronicled Vorador's creation. As I already knew, he had not been born a vampire, but had been turned by the infamous Janos Audron. But this mural suggested that Vorador's origins were even more significant. Apparently, he was the first human to whom the dark gift had been passed. This was the vampires' desperate bid to preserve their bloodline, for their enemies had cursed them not only with bloodthirst, but with sterility as well. This spirit vessel was not yet activated. Perhaps there was some means for me to awaken it. Approaching the tomb, I was met by the specter of the Guardian himself.
Eternity weighs heavily.
I have a solution.
I bear it in atonement. But your moment of existence has passed. Come and be released.
Apparently, a single soul was not enough to activate this spirit vessel. Perhaps another specter was lurking around here somewhere. I was met by the specter of the Nature Guardian, monstrously deformed since its death centuries ago.
Rejoice, creature, for today your spirit will return to the wild.
The spirit vessel would not respond in the spectral realm. I had to return to the physical world to use it. As the Reaver absorbed the souls of the Nature and Conflict Guardians, it was imbued with the elemental power of fire with which their principles were aligned. I was now equipped to reach the pillars. Once again, I beheld the pillars of Nosgoth, crumbling in decay now, following the corruption of the Circle. Here I would find Ariel, the specter of the murdered Balance Guardian, and the last pure, undefiled member of the Guardian Circle. Bound here upon her death, she was doomed to haunt these pillars until her successor fulfilled his terrible duty, and balance was restored.
What manner of creature approaches?
I know you well, Ariel, though you do not yet know me.
I have no time for riddles, strange one.
All you have is time. I have come to seek your guidance.
I counsel only one man, and you are not he. But you will know him soon. The contagion of your kind is coming to an end.
My kind? What exactly do you think I am?
Your name shall remain unspoken, as decreed by our ancestors. You serve the one who so brutally took my life and set this tragedy in motion. But even now, hope is at work. Balance will be restored, and your kind will be expelled forever.
You have pinned your hopes on Cain. He will disappoint you.
What can you know of Cain?
More than you could ever fathom.
He will do what he must when the time comes.
By choosing his own death. A sacrifice for the world. You don't know Cain very well.
I know what he is called to do. My faith sustains me.
Is it faith or fear? You know that if Cain refuses the sacrifice, you will never leave here. And you begin to suspect.
I will not hear your poison, fiend.
Grant me the answers I require, and I will leave you to your pathetic delusions.
Ask then.
I seek the vampire Vorador.
To kill him, perhaps, or to join him in death. But for Cain, he is the last of his kind. Mobius's mob has done its work.
My reasons are my own.
His refuge lies in the heart of the Black Forest. And may you molder there together until the end comes.
This seemed to be attuned to the elemental principle of air. These murals had suffered some damage. Once again I recognized the vampire's hero, but this scene revealed something new. For here they had also depicted his destined adversary, now partially obscured, who seemed to bear a flaming sword.
In winning all, we lost all. In winning what we thought mattered, we lost what truly mattered. But for you, there is a chance.
What chance is that?
The bliss of death. I offer it.
But I do not accept.
You too share the curse. Submit and be released.
Never. As the Reaver absorbed the souls of the Mind and Dimension Guardians, it was imbued with the elemental power of air with which their principles were aligned. With the Reaver endowed with the elemental power of air, the way to Vorador's refuge lay open at last. If the old vampire still lived, he alone could tell me how to escape the terrible destiny charted for me when the Reaver was forged. Vorador's refuge was hidden deep within the Black Forest. I hoped to find him before Mobius's cutthroats did. Nestled deep in the Black Forest, Vorador had once held court over a private kingdom, as decadent as it was depraved. Now, all was still. I hoped I had not. This pool seemed related to the portals which had transported me into the vampire ruins, but its surface was disturbed by the spouting of these gargoyles. This mural was similar to one I had seen before in the fountain room. These gargoyles were effigies of the vampire's enemies. In the corresponding murals, they were impaled by heroic vampire warriors. Perhaps this was a clue. This mysterious chamber was clearly significant. Perhaps I would finally find the elusive Vorador within. It to be the same hero I had seen depicted in the fountain room. This had to be significant. This was indeed the vampire warrior depicted in the fountain room, for here was the hero's weapon. This could be the key to solving the riddle of the fountain. When I drove the spear home, the gargoyle was stilled, and the corresponding mural shattered. Perhaps the other murals I'd seen throughout the mansion had been similarly affected. These murals were attuned somehow to those in the fountain room, for this wall too had shattered. Perhaps this arcane emblem would unlock the sealed door in the crypt. The artifact I had was not sufficient. There was clearly still a missing piece to this puzzle. Ah, here was the second piece of the emblem. Now, undoubtedly, the crypt door could be opened. With its surface finally stilled, the pool was transformed into a portal, just as I had hoped. Here the images were unadulterated, and their meaning ominously clear. The vampire hero, the bearer of the Reaver Blade, was confronted by an adversary worthy of his powers. The enemy race, long banished, had a champion of their own, with flaming eyes and a fiery sword. The resemblance I bore to the adversary mocked all my hopes. Had Cain been the vampire hero of prophecy all along? Did he suspect what I was? For if I was this foretold adversary, then Mobius was right, and had always been right. I was destined to fight Cain and destroy him, or be destroyed. What part did free will play in any of this?
Your deliverance is at hand. In death is your release.
This state is merely atonement.
Once more, the Reaver absorbed the spirits of the former vampire guardians, and thus was imbued with the elemental power of water. Perhaps now I could enter that mysterious crypt at the end of the garden. Braziers were all lit, but still the door remained sealed. Perhaps I had ignited too many.
So, our wretched little savior returns. Come to join the last pathetic battle of the vampire race? But on which side, I wonder?
I've not come to fight you, Vorador.
You don't know why you're here.
I know this much, that you are the author of my fate, and as such, only you can rewrite it.
You give me too much credit.
You forged the Reaver. I have seen the evidence.
I was its maker, yes?
Then you know its purpose.
No. Only the scraps of prophecy my master shared with me.
And do these scraps explain why you would forge a weapon to imprison your savior?
Ah, well then. It seems we have our answer. You've chosen your path.
I have chosen nothing. I've been deceived at every turn. You seem to know what I am. Tell me.
I thought I did once. But now all the prophecies have failed. The pillars are corrupted. I am the last of my kind, and when Mobius's hunters find me, it will have all been for nothing.
You've forgotten about Cain.
Ah, yes, Cain. I fear he shoulders a greater burden than he realizes. I cannot help you, even if I was inclined to. I crafted the Reaver Blade, but only at the behest of my sire, Janos Audron. What sorcery he and the others laid upon the sword afterward, I cannot say.
Janos tried to give me the Reaver before he died. He said that it was forged for me. But what did he mean? As my weapon or my prison?
Perhaps you should ask him yourself.
Janos is here.
In a manner of speaking. the greatest of us all, the father of our race. The Seraphim tore the heart from his living body 5 centuries ago.
But there's no sign of decay. How is this possible after all these years?
Somewhere, the heart still beats, and while it does, the body will remain preserved. If his heart could be restored, Janos might yet be raised.
And you haven't tried to recover it in all these years?
Many times, but our enemies hid the heart too well. It was taken as a trophy to Avernus Cathedral centuries ago, where they christened it the Heart of Darkness. Believing that it embodies the essence of our dark gift, they hid the heart away lest it fall into the wrong hands. Our hands. Redeem yourself. You may be our last hope. Perhaps you alone can find the heart if it is meant to be found. If Janos can be resurrected, he will have all the answers you require. This key will open your way to Avernus. But be advised, there are dark sorceries at work in the cathedral. You must be on your guard. Avernus is in flames, and with it, our hopes may evaporate.
How can I find the heart in the midst of such chaos?
You must act quickly. But beware, an ancient evil dwells within, long unspoken among our kind. Undoubtedly, this is the source of the corruption that infects the Circle. If you are to succeed, you must resist its influence.
Where in this great cathedral, the heart of darkness lay concealed. The city outside was in chaos, and the cathedral would not be immune for long. During such times, buried secrets were often suddenly revealed, or lost forever. I had seen this symbol throughout these ruins. I should have realized what it was they worshipped. Now there was no question, for this scene depicted the ancient vampires' torment and despair as their curse cast them from the wheel of fate. So this was the god whose abandonment had driven them to madness and suicide. Finally, I understood. It was not the bloodthirst, but their immortality that was the true nature of their enemy's curse. The wisest, strongest, most noble race, gulled by the voice of that old parasite. But I had seen him, and whatever he was no god. Your wheel is a lie. This spirit vessel was shielded by layers of occult energy. There had to be some means to dispel this. As the Reaver absorbed the souls of the original Energy and Time Guardians, it was imbued with the elemental power of Earth with which their principles were aligned. As the handsome coffin hides the putrefying corpse within, the great cathedral of Avernus seemed to hold its own secrets, hidden in the catacombs beneath its vaulted chambers. Was this the source of the corruption that infected Nosgoth? Vorador had hinted at something more. History is written by the victors. Beneath the vaults of Avernus, I discovered scenes that told a familiar story, but from a very different point of view. This was the work of the enemy race, and revealed what the vampire histories had conveniently omitted. How the noble vampires, god-ridden and righteous, had started the wars that would destroy both races, victor and vanquished alike. Their adversaries opposed the vampires' god, and refused to submit to the wheel of fate. For this, they were banished. I now understood the poetic irony of their curse, and my resemblance to the vampire's enemy no longer seemed so accidental. The banished race foretold a hero who would deliver them from their oppressors, and destroy the shackles of the vampire's tyrannous god, the same hero that bore the flaming sword. What game was this, where every player on the board claimed the same pawn? In the depths of Avernus Cathedral, I stumbled upon a bloody ritual. Was this the source of the corruption that had overtaken the city? What was it that these deluded humans worshipped with such fervor? Was this the dreaded Unspoken that Vorador had warned me about? The so-called God inhabited this hideous pit. I was about to meet it. Stand away, monster! I did not fall into the abyss. I was thrown in by my own brethren. Torel. The others were grotesque, but... It is to you that these humans offer their blood sacrifices. But how did this happen? Why do you stay in this terrible place? Torel? What are you doing? Mortanius! What am I too late for this time? You have mistaken my identity. So, I finally meet the Unspoken. And here it is, nestled in the heart of the circle itself. Ironic. I seek the Heart of Darkness, Cain. You use the Heart of Darkness to create Cain. Where is the Heart of Darkness now? Did you destroy it? Cain has it. It is in Cain. Cain. Why is this no surprise? And the free will you said was mine. What has become of that? It was your machinations that set my destiny in motion. The coin you tossed has struck the earth. Now you must abide by its outcome. Because you do not wish it. Is my free will to be exercised only when it accords with your whim? Yes, and it is Janus who has the answers I desire. I must trust you. Or you say that while you hold in your hand the instrument of my doom? At least not until the moment it serves your plans to do so. Then you know what I am, and who you are. And still you think you can move me about like your pawn? Think again, Cain. Why? If we are who we are, then are we not destined to fight to the death, to decide the fate of Nosgoth? And that will be the prophesied hero's battle? I win because you will not fight me? The mighty Cain, scion of balance, would-be savior of Nosgoth, surrenders before the final battle even begins! If you don't know where it is, do you? You never looked for it. Believe me, I know that even better than you do. Which I'm sure I must make at your direction. Your pawn has reached the end of the board, Cain. And now my powers may even surpass yours. How ironic. If the creature that you made should prove your own undoing. Now, we finish this. Once and for all. You, Victus. heart of darkness, and you fueled my rage. And as it subsided, I felt no elation, no sense of victory. Only a calm certainty that we had once again walked blindly into our enemy's trap. I couldn't be sure whether Cain had truly intended to destroy me, and now it appeared I would never know. In my absence, the estate had been overrun by Mobius's soldiers. I hoped that they had not yet found the entrance to the crypt or discovered the body of Janos. Of Vorador, there was no sign. I suppose you expect similar congratulations on the death of Vorador, or has he eluded you? That will have pleased him. Will that knowledge sustain you? You too are going to your death. So, this has all been arranged every step of the way. And Cain thought I truly had free will. This relic had come at so high a cost. My blood offering for the answers I sought from this enigmatic corpse. It was the price of my freedom, for which Cain had paid with his life. Had I journeyed so far and forsaken so much, only to have it end like this? You've been entombed here for 5 centuries. Your murderers are long dead. Your bloodline also dead. The age of the vampires is coming to an end. I'm not who you think I am, nor is this a benevolent act. I have questions that apparently you alone can answer. Why then would the vampires devise a weapon to consume and imprison their savior? While the blade yet exists, I am drawn inexorably toward my doom. It was you who bound me to this fate. Only you can release me. And so I do, though not quite as you'd envisioned. Where have you brought me? The pillars are already damned. I want answers. The world can end this instant for all I care. Why then did you allow the pillars to fall into human hands? They liberated you from the wheel of fate, and yet you pass the curse on. What does all this mean to me? If I fail the test, it's too late. Ariel, you. The river now blazed with purifying flame, but far from being enlightened, I found myself entangled in an even greater web of mysteries. What had Janos expected me to learn? And what of Ariel's cryptic message? If the sword was endowed for the sign of balance, for Cain, and he was now dead, what hope remained? I needed to find Janos, and soon. I dreaded to think what these ominous rumblings might portend. Janos, what is this? We had arrived at that cataclysmic moment when a younger Cain faced his fateful dilemma as Balance Guardian. Choosing self-preservation over sacrifice, he doomed the pillars to eternal ruin. I wouldn't celebrate just yet. You're not leaving this chamber. I will destroy Janos if I have to. Oh. prisoner. I refuse to bend my will. You parasitic fraud. You're forced to imprison me because I possess free will. And go to your master then. I release you to the wheel. Do you see it now? The monster that you served. Is this what you imagined when you worshipped it? And in that knowledge, go and feed it. I release you. Perhaps. But something has changed, hasn't it? You didn't foresee Cain's return. You haven't the means to kill either one of us. But I was armed with newfound knowledge, and it burned within me. Mobius had never seen his master until the Soul Reaver purified his sight. Even the ancient vampires had no idea what it was they so righteously worshipped. All the conflict and strife throughout history, all the fear and hatred, served but one purpose: to keep my master's wheel turning. All souls were prisoners, trapped in the pointless round of existence, leading distracted, blunted lives until death returned them, always in ignorance, to the wheel. But what hope had there been? One cannot fight the unseen. It was then I knew what I had to do. I alone could end this.
Raziel.
Yes, this is how the Soul Reaver, pure of all corruption. This is what it is for. This is what I am for. The two become one. Both Soul Reavers together. And the sign of balance is healed. And I am not your enemy, not your destroyer. I am, as before, your right hand, your sword.